Welcome back to Living 757. Patricia, car insurance can be kind of complicated and pretty hard to understand sometimes, right?
Yes, that's right.
But it's so important that you have it so you are protecting yourself just in case you get into a car accident. And lucky for us, we also have an expert here today to help explain the new laws that just went into place. So let's welcome attorney Randy from Huffman Huffman. Hey, Randy.
How are you?
I'm very good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us because, as we said, this stuff can be a little hard to understand, and the laws are always changing, so that makes it harder.
Yeah, and speaking of that, it was hard for me back in the time. So now I hear that it's a new law effective this July. So now we have three main coverages that we all know about it. Can we just talk about the difference between those coverages?
Absolutely. The first coverage is the liability coverage for personal injury that most people are aware of. If you cause an accident and you get sued or a claim is made against you, your insurance will defend you and they'll pay up to your policy limits. There's also coverage for property damage. The third part, the third main coverage, is uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage. And we say that's UM or UIM coverage for short. Most people don't know about that, but that coverage protects you in case a careless driver injures you and they don't have any insurance or enough insurance. And the new law affects the UM and UIM coverage.
Okay, so the new law that you're talking about just went into effect on July 1st, right?
That's correct.
And how exactly does it affect your uninsured motorist coverage? And I'm a little bit scared to ask that because I feel like it's never good news when these new laws are passed.
But this is actually a good news.
It is good news. And for all new policies and renewed policies that begin after July 1st, 2023, the changes made to the UM and UIM coverage. In the past, if you had UIM coverage, it was offset by whatever the defendant had. In the future, your UIM coverage will be stacked upon anything that the defendant had. And so let me give you an example that kind of makes some sense.
I was about to ask you, can you just give us an example?
So let's assume a careless driver runs through a stop sign, injures you, and they have a $50,000 per person bodily injury policy.
Right.
And your policy is also a $50,000 per person UIM coverage policy.
Okay.
In the past, your $50,000 and their $50,000 would offset. And so the most you could claim for your injury would be the defendant's $50,000 policy. In the future, your $50,000 will stack on top of the defendant's $50,000 so that you now have $100,000 of available coverage.
So that's actually good news.
Yeah, this new law
expands
coverage for injured people, and I think it'll make a difference.
Yes. Wow. I didn't know that exactly. Now that you explain it to me, it's actually really good. So what steps I need to do in order to get benefit from this new change, from this new law?
Nothing. And that's the great thing. The default position for this new law is that all new policies automatically have the enhanced coverage.
So let's say I have my insurance policy already. I don't have to change anything. It's automatically cover me?
That's correct. You and most of your viewers have probably started to receive letters from their insurance company advising them of these enhanced benefits for the UIM and UM coverage. The downside, or if there is a downside, is that individuals can opt out of this enhanced coverage.
Okay.
Because this new coverage increases the exposure for motor vehicle insurance companies, there's probably going to be a slight increase in the policy premiums.
Okay.
So the law allows the insured to opt out of the policy. But at Huffman Huffman, we think that, and we're recommending that everyone go with the default, get the enhanced coverage, because if your family's injured and the other person doesn't have any coverage or not enough, you want that enhanced benefit.
And I think it's worth, even if increase a little bit your policy for what it is right now, in order to be covered if something happened. I think family first and always to go with everything, with all the procedures for the security. So yeah. But if you have any questions, you know that I had to call the experts, the professionals at Huffman Huffman, right, Ashley?
Definitely. And I don't know, in my opinion, it's definitely worth it to pay, extra dollars a month.
Me too.
In order to have that increased coverage.
I agree.
Well, really quick, we have the contact information on the screen, huffmanhuffman.com. If you have any questions, please call 757-422-HELP. Thank you, Randy.
Thank
Thank you so much.
It was so nice to meet you today.
Yes, the first time, and we want to see you next time again with
Yes.
most of these.